Hi, this is Shanae Finlayson, a member of Lands. For more information on Lands, you can follow us on Twitter. Our handle is LandsJA. That's at LANDS_JA. You can also visit our website at www.jalands.org. That is www.jalands.org, where you can find this and other weekly updates as well as more information about lands. Heading into the meat of the matter with this week's happenings surrounding medical doctors and the long-standing disputes that they've had to engage with the government, which culminated in a widespread sick-out just this Wednesday, July 1. In a Gleaner article titled Tufton on the Doctor's Knife, published on June 29, 2021, the president of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, Dr. Mindy Fitzhenley, put her foot down as she highlighted instances of mistreatment and contract breaches by the Jamaican government. The most pressing topic was that there were 143 doctors across the island slated to be out of a job come July 1 due to an ending of their contract which had not been renewed. No, there are several issues with these existing contracts. First, the length of the contracts are in and of itself a breach of the Heads of Government agreement between the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association and the government. According to this agreement, the standard contracts that should be offered to doctors are 2 and 3 year contracts. But that's not all. Doctors are being owed gratuity, hazard pay for having been on the front lines during this devastating COVID-19 pandemic, payment for unused vacation days, overtime for interns who worked on weekends, and special pay. Now, clearly, this is a gross injustice. There's absolutely no excuse to treat frontline workers in this way, especially in a time such as this. To add insult to injury, the response from the Ministry of Health and Wellness throughout all of this has been nothing short of gaslighting. There hasn't been any acknowledgement of the severity of the issue, no accountability for having caused it, and no obvious urgency in resolving the issue, even during the sick out. Given the sequence of events, anyone would be sick to their stomach being in the doctor's shoes. Junior doctors have since returned to work, and it is apparent that some sort of a resolution might be in sight. Still, it should never have happened in the first place. In other news, Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, Pernell Charles Jr. announced that the deposit refund scheme for plastic bottles is now up and running. How this actually works is that persons who return plastic bottles to any selected recycling center can receive at least $1 per bottle. Charles Jr. said that it was a way of incentivizing recycling and protecting the marine space. In fact, he said, and I quote, "You won't find one glass bottle on the ground in Jamaica because people can make money from it." End quote. He was speaking at a Conservations Canada webinar on Thursday themed Protecting Jamaica's Marine Resources, the Environment and Climate Change. During this, he also mentioned that among the moves the government will take to protect the government is designating Black River and Pedro Keys protected areas. He said that the government was also invested in mangrove restoration. Now, I have two reservations. First is, based on what the minister announced, the deposit refund scheme isn't the only plan the government purports to have. It sounds as if he may be getting ahead of himself by making grand predictions on the effects of this project. It sounds like an okay enough idea on paper, but I'm also not sold on the basis on which you can declare that this project will single-handedly get rid of the issue of plastic bottles on the streets and in gullies, especially because it's not as if the incentive is anything major. Secondly, it's interesting that mangrove restoration is now a priority, seeing that mangroves in Hanover were recently destroyed to facilitate the building of a US $500 million 2,000 room all inclusive resort in Green Island to be exact, despite strong recommendations by environmental experts not to. And as it relates to the designation of at least two more protected areas, who is to say that somewhere along the line a decision can be taken in quote unquote economic interest to enter said protected areas to mine or to carry out other destructive activities, as we saw with the Dry Harbor mining project. It's hard to be enthusiastic about proposed efforts to protect the environment in the face of these occurrences. In regional news, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, has announced that there will be a 50% cut in the price of airline tickets from Antigua and Barbuda to selected Caribbean islands. This is a move that will be in place for 6 months initially, he said. He also said that this period will be used to assess how much the price of air travel can be cut by without creating a financial crisis. This was effective Monday, June 28th. Brown has been pushing for a reduction in the taxes on regional air travel for quite some time now, and to be honest, the costs are quite prohibitive. It can cost almost $1,000 to travel from um, another Caribbean island, well, to another Caribbean island from Jamaica, for example, despite the very close proximity to most islands. To compare, a ticket to Miami, Florida could be as low as a quarter of this cost, despite it being further. If the agenda for any Caribbean leader is strengthening regional integration, then this seems like low hanging fruit to tackle because this is an expensive barrier to regional integration. Another important point regarding the aforementioned move by Antigua and Barbuda is that Brown said that this would incentivize vaccination. He believes that by allowing fully vaccinated people to take advantage of these discounts, especially by pairing it with the removal of quarantine requirements for them, others will want to be vaccinated to enjoy these privileges. Before I go, I have to send a special greeting and the warmest farewell to the ambassador of Cuba to Jamaica, Miss Ines Force Fernandez. She became our Cuban ambassador in 2017 and has since been promoted and is ending her term early to take up these new responsibilities. Because Lance has always shown our solidarity with Cuba and its people, we are very happy to encourage strong ties between Jamaica and Cuba, and she's done a wonderful job of making that happen. On behalf of Lance, I wish her all the best in her future assignments, and we look forward to hearing more from her. That's it from me this week. Do remember to follow us on Twitter at LANTS underscore JA, or you can visit our website at www.jalands.org. That's www.jalands.org for more information on lands and to listen to updates from this week and other weeks. My name is Shanae. Take care.